My name is Fran. I'm a registered nurse and a yoga therapist at Weill Cornell Medical Center in New York City. And I want to again thank Vanessa Dudley for doing all that she does to make sure that these sessions go on and that they get taped and put on our website. So brava, Vanessa. Okay, so let's just come to close our eyes and come to be settled. Sit in any way that's right for you. You can sit cross-legged on a block in a chair. Close your eyes. And bring your hands to your heart. And just think of the word gratitude. And notice what kind of response is elicited from your heart just by saying that one word. Feel that one word, or you can think of another word that's good for you. Love, acceptance, anything that works for you. And then notice the rays of that word that it has on your heart, the rays that expand out from it. And just feel that for another second or two. And let your spirit, your mind, body, and spirit be infused with those rays that word inspires. And then you can bring your hands down to your lap. We'll do one Om together. So deep breath in. Om. Notice the reverberations. That's not a word. Notice the vibrations, reverberations. There you go. Notice that kind of undulation from that Om. And then let's come to open the eyes. And what we're going to need for today, a block. If you have a ball like this, that would be great. If you don't, we're going to improvise. So not to worry if you don't have one of those. You know, if you have one block, you probably have two. I don't know if we need two, but we'll need one. And a blanket. So today's emphasis is going to be working on the lymphatic system. And the lymphatic system is the drainage system. So we're going to be working on that and working on the immune support that the lymphatic system gives us. And now that we're in the season that we're in, the April, you know, the spring season with all of the seasonal allergies that come with it, that we need to give our immune system a boost in addition to what's going on in the world just in terms of the virus. So let's just work on the immune system today by sort of incorporating some lymphatic movements with yoga movements. So you're going to need a block, and we'll take it at the medium height. Now, if you tend to be sensitive, you're not going to want to do this if you've had recent surgery, and I don't think anybody that I see on the call tonight has had recent surgery. But you just want to go easy with this if you have. So if that's going to be, try it first. What you're going to do is you're just going to bring the block. You're going to be sitting in this sort of beach pose that I call it. And then you'll be on your left side, and then you'll take the block and you'll put the block under your armpit. And then you can put your left hand, you can support your head with your left hand, and just let the block be resting in the armpit. If this is too, I have a sweater on, so it's not like sticking into me. But if you want to put a blanket on top of the block, you can feel free to do that. So just notice that, I mean, we have a lot of lymph nodes under the armpit. So we're just starting to wake them up and just get that lymphatic drainage system a kickstart. There's lots of stuff blowing around in the sky right now, and I know that I'm allergic to it. So now if you notice, I'm on with my right hand, I'm starting to just rock a little bit back and forth. So see if that works for you. See if you'd rather just be still underneath it. I like rocking back and forth because I'm getting a little bit more surface area, or a lot more surface area. And then bring your left hand down, and then just move the block so that the edge of the block is right under the armpit. And then you can sort of make two fists, put the fists on top of each other, and bring your right elbow out as you lean your head into the fist. Now that's a little strong for me, so I'm just going to move it a little bit. And that's better. We're not going to be here long. So it's not the most comfortable pose, but it shouldn't be, you don't want to be in pain. You're just getting into areas that are really never really touched. And then inhale, press the hands into the floor and come on up. So we're getting into these spots in the body. It's like giving ourselves a massage. Basically, that's what it is. Okay, so come to be on the right side. Beach pose. Take your block medium height, and then slide your right arm down. Then you're on your side. Take your head, let it be held up by the right hand. And my block is just right under the axle. So just pressing in. Right now I'm just holding it. A little static hold. And then with my left hand on the floor, I'm just going to rock a little bit back and forth. And then bring your right hand around, make a fist. Situate your block so that it's right under the front. So you're getting into the pecs now too. Make another fist with your left hand, and then you're going to lean forward, placing your forehead on both fists. If you want to come down lower, that's fine. That doesn't work for me. It's too big of a stretch. So 2 fists seems to be my thing. If that's too much, just come back like this. And again, remember you can always put a blanket between the armpit and the block. Nice deep breath. And the breath facilitates the movement of the lymphatic system. So it's important to remember that, especially now. Okay, so you can take your block and put it to the side, and we'll just get in here a little bit more. Just pause for a second. Notice any sensation across the chest and under the armpit. Just notice. Give your body that time before we jump into the next pose. Okay, so next pose we're going to be sort of like a half sphinx. So I'm going to come down onto my forehead. My arms are out in sphinx position. I'm going to take my right elbow out. I'll do it with the, let's see. Okay, I'll take my right elbow out, and then I just move it up an inch or two. So it's a little bit in front of my shoulder, my right elbow. From there, my left hand is going to press into the floor. My head comes to the floor, and I'm just rolling over onto my right side to get a deep stretch across the pecs and into the axle. You might have to adjust your arms a little bit. But just see, I'm not moving much. So I went from here just to here. So it wasn't much. Great stretch. Inhale, exhale, come on down and pause. And then we'll go over to the other side. So just gently move the left elbow off a little bit. So the left elbow is above the level of the left shoulder. I'm going to take my right hand down, and then with that hand, it's going to give me leverage to move over, and I'm just moving over a little bit. And I don't feel much of a stretch for myself here, so I'm just going to change the position of my elbow. I went up a little further, and now I can feel that much more under the armpit. My head is resting on the floor. Inhale and exhale, and come on down, and just relax. And again, notice the difference, and then push into your hands, and come on up. And I think this is where we're going to move into the ball. Oh no, this one. Okay, so we're going to sit on with the blanket underneath us. So we're going to sit in a cross-legged position. I like to sit with this little point here, right underneath the perineum. I just find that it gives me very good support to come into an anterior pelvic tilt, so that my spine can lift up. So just one more thing now. So we've got some lymph nodes under the armpits. Now we're going to go to the lymph nodes in the neck. So you're just going to take a deep breath in and exhale. Take your left hand over to your right thigh. Your right hand comes behind you. And instead of turning to look over the right shoulder, just gently turn to look towards the left. Inhale back to center. Exhale to the left. So it's a little different from the way we normally do it. Exhale to look. Inhale to come back. So we're stimulating the lymph nodes and lymphatics on the side of the neck. And just a few more times. This is great for the neck too. And then one more time. And let's just hold it there. Breathe. Take a few rounds of breath here. And then come back. And then let that go. Notice. And then let's change the placement of the legs just to get out of any habitual patterns. That's always a good thing to do. And now we'll take our right hand over to the left thigh, and we'll use our back hand and you can always use a block on that back hand to elevate your arm, so that if you feel that you're going too far back, you've got a little bit of leverage there with the block, and then your hand can be on the block. So take your right hand to the left thigh, and inhale, and exhale, turn to look over towards the right. Inhale to center, exhale to look at the right. Inhale, center, exhale, inhale, center, exhale to look over towards the right. Two more times on your own. Keep your abdomen engaged, your back is long. Inhale, center, and then turn to look over to the right, and let's take a few breaths here. You're just paying attention to a few alignment issues, pelvic floor, abdomen, spine, lifting up. You're not cranking the neck, it's only going to where it feels right for you. Inhale and exhale, come back to center, and then come back down. Close the eyes. Take a few moments just to take all of that in. You can do a few shoulder rolls back and just get the shoulders to start opening. Okay, now we're going to come into a low lunge. So let's bring the right foot out. The right knee is the one that's bent. You're going to bring your left hand to the floor. Let me move back a little bit. So the knee's over the ankle. Now it's going to come forward, okay? Because you've got your hand on the floor. And you're going to take your right arm here down beside your right leg. And then we're going to inhale and exhale as we make circles. So this is our Pete Townsend version of what he does on stage with the hoop. So we're going around, inhale up, exhale down, go at your own pace. So this is really getting the lymphatics going in the arm, the neck, the armpit. And one more time, inhale like that, come back. Now bring both knees to the floor, come to your beach pose again, just sitting on the beach. Your left hand is pressing into the floor and it's going to lift your hips up. So just get comfortable with that and then take your Pete Townsend hands again. Roll it around. So we'll do 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And come on back down. So in addition to getting all of that lymphatic drainage, we're building bone density by lifting up on this arm. So 2 for 1 sale. Okay, now come back to kneel. Bring your left foot forward. And then we start with the knee over the ankle. And now we're going to bring the knee forward as the right hand comes down. And then we're going to just turn a little bit to the left. Take your left arm out and take the arm back. So get some nice windmill circles in here. Think about what you're doing with your breath and how that's facilitating movement in the lymphatics as the movement is doing that itself. So we're using our breath and our movement and our visualization powers. One more time around and then come down. Now bring both knees down and then come to lie in beach pose or sit in beach pose on your right hip. Your right hand comes out to the side. You're going to use it to elevate you. And your knees are on the floor. You're taking your left arm up and we're going to go around. So notice we're going back. And I like to go back only because we spend so much time going forward. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Stay up. When you do this, just make sure you're not collapsing down. You want to keep this nice and long here. Now bring the hips down. And let's see what we have up next. We're going to come into a child's pose. So keep the toes together, the knees are wide, and then you can bring your block into a child's pose. And you can rest your head on the block or you can rest your head on the floor. Or your hand. Feel your back body filling up with breath, the back of the lungs, the back of the rib cage, however you envision that to look like. Visualize all of the structures of your back body filling up and moving with breath. Take a deep breath in, hold it for a count of 2, exhale, hold it out for a count of 2. One more time like that, deep breath in, hold it for a count of 2, exhale, Deeply fold it out for a count of 2. And now let's come up. Okay. So now if you have a ball, we're just going to take that ball, and I'm going to show you if you don't have a ball. Let me just move back. So if you have a ball, you want it to be under, just like where the padding is, that little fatty padding on the side of the pinky. So you'll have especially your middle finger and maybe your index, middle, and ring finger. So you'll just rub it back and forth on the side of the pinky, that fatty tissue there. They keep the other, the 3 middle fingers on the floor. They're not going to be stationary, but they're touching the floor. And now come over to the thumb side. And so this is moving lymphatics, especially if anyone has had surgery, breast surgery. This is going to be very helpful to mobilize that fluid. Now let's just go back and forth between the thumb and the pinky. However that feels right for you. And you're just applying consistent pressure. It should not hurt, but you know you're doing something here. And now let's take it into the middle of the palm and just roll the ball around. Now, if you don't have a ball, and then for those who have a ball, just keep going around with that consistent pressure. You can just take the fatty pad of the left hand and take your right thumb and press it against it, then your index, middle, ring, and pinky. And then you can get in there and massage the hand yourself. Okay? Now, I'm going to roll my sleeves up because we're going to get in here into the forearm. So we want the pressure to go from the bottom to the top. So the massage is going to go this way, not this way. We want the fluid to be expressed upward. So you can take the ball, and you have to sort of situate your body, and you'll get it in there. You have to just tinker around with it. So you'll take the ball. If you don't have a ball, just massage from the bottom to the top, and then go back down again, and then bring it up. Express it up. But if you have a ball, you're going to press into the ball like this, and then come back. So you press from the wrist to the elbow, and then bring the ball back. And just roll it up. So you can see how I'm stretching the arms up, and then I take the ball back. I take the ball back, the wrist goes under it, and I spread it out. So consistent pressure, consistent, gentle pressure. Moderate pressure, I think is a better word. And then I'm going to take it back up. Okay, so now we're going to do the other side. And again, if you're massaging, you're going to do, first we're going to do a stretch. You can stretch the fingers against the fatty pad on the right hand, on the right pinky side, and just go back and forth like that, and then get in there yourself. If you have a ball, let's start under the pinky side. And this is great, just again, for any kind of, it doesn't matter. It's so good for all of us to do this. It doesn't matter if there's surgery involved or not. We're all just kind of doing things that maybe we're not using our bodies in the way that we're typically used to. So things can get a little sluggish, and this is a good way to wake it up. So you're just going to go back and forth between the pinky and the thumb, and then get into the palm. And then even into the fingers. And then we'll come and we'll do that slide up the arm. So I'm bringing it back towards me a little bit. It's under my wrist. And then I stretch it out. Come back. Stretch it out. Put the ball underneath. Come back. Stretch it out. Make sure the pressure is good for you. You don't want to overdo it. You just want to get a nice, consistent pressure. And just 2 more times. That's 1 and 2. Good. Close your eyes. Notice any sensation or vibration. Such a great practice. And I have forgotten about using the ball work therapy until this time, and it's great stuff. Okay, so Okay, we're going to do this one. Oh, this is a nice one to do. Okay. Let's come on, Johnny. Okay, so we're going to come to kneel again and then bring the right leg forward. Bring the arms into Sphinx and just notice where your posture is right from here. So we're going to inhale as we lean forward, bringing the arms up. Exhale, we lean back, bringing the arms in Sphinx. Inhale forward, exhale, come back. Keep that containment in your abdomen and your pelvis as you go back and forth. In other words, don't let it all hang out. Want to keep that containment. So up and down, like getting this pumping action now, right? Now we're getting the legs involved. And again, these hip flexors are now getting involved. And this is where there's a lot of lymphatics, lymph nodes in the groin and in the abdomen. So we're just going to go back and forth one or two more times. And then up, stay up, take a few breaths. Let the shoulders be relaxed. Outer shoulders go up, inner shoulders relax. Inhale, exhale, bring the hands down, and then we'll come into a downward facing dog. And you can paddle out your dog. Engage your abdomen. Hold your dog now. You can keep your knees bent, your head, the ears are right between your upper arm. And now you're pushing your hips as far away from your hands. Your torso is going towards your thighs. And now start to straighten your thighs. Feel that stretch in the back of the legs. Inhale, exhale, come into plank. And then bring your knees down. We'll rise up. And we'll bring the left foot forward. So we'll do that same movement that we did. So bring the arms into Sphinx. So the shoulders and the elbows are at pretty much the same position. No rounding. Engage your abdomen. Inhale, arms straight up. Exhale, elbows down. Inhale up, you're leaning forward. Exhale down. Inhale up. So think about now what's happening. The right hip flexors are getting stretched, and then the left hip flexors are getting that massage. So everything is working. Taking the long breaths is going to help facilitate it all. 1 and 2, stay up. Take a few breaths. Inhale. Exhale, bring the hands down, and then come to kneel, and then we'll come to tabletop, hands under the shoulders, knees under the hips, and now walk the hands out about 2 inches. Now curl your toes under, lift your knees, and come back into downward dog. Long, long axial extension of the spine. So you're getting this nice traction. Bend the knees, hike the hips, push the hips away, push into the floor, push away into the floor, and then straighten. So there's a paradox. You're pushing in, and then you're pushing out with your hips. Pushing in with the hands, in and away, and pushing up and away with the hips. Inhale, exhale, and come down into another child's pose just for a brief breath. However you want to do your child's pose. Let's do this one. We're going to go, okay, so we're going to do a little bit more strengthening work. So just to get the arms a little bit more activated. Just open up a little bit more. Okay, and then we're going to come to tabletop again. So from here, you're going to have your hands out, maybe about 2 inches in front of you, and come into a half push-up. So you're coming down and then up. So just to show that again, make sure your elbows are going back, not out to the side, okay? So they're going back. Doesn't matter how far you go down, but what matters is that you keep your integrity across your chest. So that's one. And then now we're going to take the left hand, lean into it, lift both knees off the floor, and then straighten both legs, and then take your right foot in front of your left. The right knee is bent, the left leg is straight, and you're going to take that right arm up and then over your head. So there's a long stretch from the fingertips to the shoulders to the hips. Inhale, and then exhale, come forward very gently and come down. Okay, give your hands a break. We're going to do that again. So just to build up some strength too. So we're doing a lot of stretching, but now I want to get into strengthening. Open and close, and let's come back down. Okay, so bring your hands so you can bring your hands forward, or you can just bring your knees back, whatever's best for you. Inhale, exhale, we'll do 3 push-ups. 1, 2, and keep the belly engaged. 3, let's do 5. 4, and 5. Okay, I'm going to keep my right hand where it is. I'm sliding my left leg back. I'm coming up onto the balls. Sliding my right leg back onto the balls of the right toe. I'm curling my left toes under as I split and come onto the outer aspect of the right leg. And I've got my left leg, my left knee bent, and my left foot. The whole foot is on the floor. And I've got my left arm up, and then I can bring it over my left ear. Side plank. And anybody who has scoliosis knows which side to do this on twice. Inhale, exhale, inhale. Bring that hand down as you rotate towards the floor, and just come to kneel again. Give your hands a break. So I'm going to just go into that side plank pose again, just to break it down, because I think maybe it's hard to see from this angle. So just to do that again. Okay, so here I am. Okay, let's do the left side first. So I've got my left hand, it's going to stay where it is. And I'm going to just take my hands up an inch. So just, never mind, 1 inch. Okay, straighten the right leg. I've got my toes curled under. You can see my toes are curled under. My left toes are now curled under, but I'm on my left knee. And now I'm just going to come over. This is another way of doing it. Take the left leg back a little bit. And now bring your arm up. So notice how I just move my left knee back a little bit. So that's one way. And then the other way is to straighten the left leg, curl, keep the toes curled under, curl the toes under on the right leg, flip over. So now I'm on the outer aspect of the left foot, and my right foot is on the floor, and I'm up like this. So you don't want to sag in here. This is long, as if you were standing on it. And then come on down, and we'll do the same thing on the other side. So I hope that that breaks it down just a little bit. So from here, I've got my toes, both of my toes are curled under, my hands are out a little bit. Let's see if I can just get this out of the way. Ooh. I hope that didn't make it worse. Okay, so here we are. Okay, so now I'm going to straighten my left leg. I've got my toes curled under. Now I notice I'm going to pivot on my right knee just a little bit and then flip over so that the entire left foot is on the floor. And then bring the left arm up, and then if you want to, you can bring it over. So that's one variation. Okay, the bottom ribs are engaged and lifted, and then bring it down. And then the other way is to straighten the right leg. So I've got my right toes curled under, but I also have my left toes curled under, left knees on the floor, and then I'm going to lift up, and then the left foot comes to the floor, right foot. I'm on the outer aspect of the right foot. The right toe is not on the floor. Inhale, exhale, and come on down. Boy, okay. Okay. Give your hands, come to kneel, come to sit. Give your hands and your wrists a good stretch. Okay, and now we're going to come, let it go, grab it, and then let it go, grab it, let it go, grab it. Okay, and let's come on. Okay. All right, so there was something that I really would, oh yeah, let's see. Oh yeah, okay. So we're going to come into warrior one. So warrior one, the front knee is bent. Both hip points are faced this way. So you can even see I wanted to go back to that back leg. Got to get both those hip points facing the front. Now I got to take the curvature out of my spine, out of my low back. So I'm going to do that by lifting up the pubic bone and letting the tailbone go down. Okay, so from here, we're going to be in Sphinx Pose. Now, another way to do warrior one, and you can decide, the back foot is on the floor, it's turned in slightly, but another way to do it is to bring the back toes, just the ball of the toes on the floor, and the back heel is up. So you decide which one is good for you. I happen to like this, but I do it too much, so I'm just going to do it the sort of classical way with the foot on the floor. But you know, just something to think about. Now, of course, I went back to my habitual pattern. So now I've got to bring that arch out of my low back. I'll bring my hands up to cactus. The knee is over the ankle in the direction of the second and third toe. So we'll be here. Inhale. Exhale. Cross the right elbow on top of the left and make a fist. Inhale. Open. Now cross the other way, making fists. Inhale. Open. And then come forward a little bit. Inhale. Open the hands. Open the arms. Exhale. Come. Inhale, open, exhale, cross. Make sure you're changing the cross every time you come forward. One more time like this. Inhale, open, exhale, cross. Now, inhale, open. Feel your footing, feel your groundedness. Take the arms behind you. Interlace your fingers. Open up your chest. Now, I assume we all interlace our fingers in our normal habitual way. So just remember that, because the next time we're going to do it the opposite way. Inhale, broaden across your chest, and exhale from the hip crease. Fold forward with the flat back and rest your torso on your thigh into humble warrior. You can let your head, your neck relax. And breathe. Think about the compression in the right thigh and what this is doing to your circulatory and lymphatic system. Never mind the strength. Another breath here. Inhale. Woo! Inhale. And then exhale. Woo! Come on up. And then like that. All right. Back foot meets the front and just relax. Okay, shake it out a little bit. And then now we'll take the left leg out. And then you decide, do you want to be up on the toes of the back foot with the heel up, or do you want to have the foot down? So just for change's sake, I'm going to put my foot down, but both are great. Make sure that both hips, it's like the headlights on a car, they're not going this way because the back leg wants to pull that hip back. They're going this way. And now I can see how I do what I do. Pubic bone has to come up, tailbone comes down. And then I can see my posture better. Inhale, arms come into Sphinx. So the elbows are at the same level as the shoulders. Stay here for a few breaths. Just get used to being in the pose. Inhale, exhale. Now inhale, cross one arm over the other, lean forward. Inhale, open up. Exhale to cross and lean forward. Inhale to open up. Go back and forth with the crossing of the elbows. Change it up. Front knee is bent over the ankle, not going towards the midline, going towards the second and third toe. I'm feeling a pretty good stretch in the back of my right calf. We'll do two more. One, and then stay here. Find your bearings. Go through your inventory. Just quick inventory. Where's your feet? Where's your legs? Pelvis. Spine. Chin. Now bring the arms behind you. Remember I said before which way you notice? So just do it the other way, which always feels weird, but it's good. Just to switch it up. Inhale. Exhale. Come forward from the hip crease. So this tests our balance. And just let the chest and torso rest as close to the left thigh as you possibly can as the arms come up. If that's too much, you can bring your hands to the floor. Make sure your toes are relaxed. And I'm saying that because I noticed mine weren't. So they were all scrunched up. So see if you can relax. Where can you have relaxation without dullness or tension, effort without tension? Breathe. Inhale, exhale, strong legs. Ground down through those feet as you inhale and come on up. And let the arms go. Woo! And relax. Take a few breaths. Give your rests a nice massage. Okay, so since we're standing and we're doing this we're interlacing some of this ball work in that has to do with lymphatics. So I've got this ball again here. Now I'm going to use it under my foot. It's nice to have some place to sort of, make sure that, just in case you lose your balance, but it's nice to have some place. So if I fall off, I'll go on the couch. So that'll be okay. So I'm grounding down through my left foot, and I've got the ball under my heel and just going back and forth so you can stay. So let's just break it down, and then I'll get into it if you don't have a block, what to do. So get into the heel, and again, just consistent, gentle to moderate pressure. You don't want to, it shouldn't hurt. You're going to feel it, and you're like, whoa, what's that? But that's a good thing. You have to discern. You're the expert in your body. You discern what's the best pressure for you. And then so you got the heel, the arch, and then the ball of this, and then you can even get into the toes. So you can break it down into 4 distinct areas. And there's all sorts of reflexology points there that, according to Chinese medicine, correspond with different parts of our body, which is really quite fascinating. Now, for those who have the ball, keep going. If you don't have a ball, again, have something to hold on to or be near, and then you can just curl your toes under. So we're working on the right toes. and just make circles. But getting the toes curled under like that and then going the other way, so you're curling to be on the anterior, and then when you come back, you're on the back of the toes. So inhale, exhale one way. So inhale to be on the top of the toes, and exhale back down. Inhale. This is great for the toes. They get short changed. Our feet are the unsung heroes of the body, and just then you can just stay on top and go from side to side. It's wonderful. There's one of my teachers, Ellen Saltonstall, does a whole body of work based on ball work for the whole entire body, front, back, and every body part imaginable. So that's the alternative if you don't have the ball. Now we'll switch to the other side, and just actually before you even start, notice the difference. It's pretty noticeable. You can feel that up the leg, how much that changes and what that does to your circulation and your prana. So now I've got my left heel on top of the ball, and I'm making circles. And a sweet spot for me is like right in front of the heel. Holy cow, that's holy moly, that's a spot. It's like I didn't even know it was existing. And so you can get in there, you can play with spots for you, the arch. Wow, it's intense. And then, of course, under the ball, so we're breaking it down into 4, and then the toes. And you can see now, I'm using this. You know, if you have a wall, you could be leaning onto the wall. It's good to challenge your balance, but I don't like challenging my balance with a ball underfoot. Now, if you don't have a ball, just come to be on the toes. Let's make circles first. And this leg that you're grounding on, it's not going out. You're dipping it up from the heel to the gluteus medius here and the outer hip. So making some circles going one way, go the other way, and then go back and forth from side to side. So good to do. You know, like how those ballerinas do. I mean, I'm not going to do that. I certainly wasn't trained to do that. But, you know, just you could just point and then down. And then another thing to do, actually, let's all do this together. So let's do 10 heel lifts. 1, 2, 3. Start to play with your balance here. 5. Let's go crazy. 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Stay. And then go. Okay. I think. Oh, okay. One other thing. One other thing in terms of strength. I'm just gonna put that in here. So let's. I don't think I've done this with any of you before. So just be careful. Please, again, you're the expert, right? You're the expert in your body. So you're going to come to be in tabletop. Knees are under your hips and your hands are under your shoulders. And then you're going to bring your forearms down. And then bring one hand to the opposite forearm. I think you can see me. Okay? Then from there, ground your elbows to where they are. And then take your hands in front and make interlace your fingers. Curl your back toes under. I don't have a mat back here. I'm going to slide. So I'm just going to move that back. So I'm going to start again. My hands are on the opposite shoulder, and then I've got my elbows going into the mat. I'm taking my hands in front. Then I'm going to let my head come down. I've got my toes curled under, and then I'm going to lift my hips. The legs are straight. And if your head touches the floor, fine. You don't want to let it, just rest into the floor. It just should be lightly touching. It should not be pushing into the floor. This is a great pose for building stamina and strength. Engage your belly. 5, 4, strong legs, 3, 2, and 1. Bring the legs down. Slide out into Sphinx Pose. Your arms are on the floor. Press into your right hand as you shift your weight into the left groin. You may or may not feel the femoral pulse, but this is where there is a lot of lymphatics, lymph nodes here. So we're just shaking things up. Come back. Shift your weight over to the right by pressing into the left hand. And we'll do that one more time. So again, just massaging these areas. And go back. And then come back to be in Sphinx Pose. Bring your head down. Make a pillow with your hand. And then come to lie on your back. If you like, if you want to put your legs up on a couch or a chair, you can do the instant Maui. Use a pillow for underneath your head. Use a blanket for underneath your knees. Whatever works for you. And then just come. You might need a blanket for your body. And put your hands on your solar plexus. And as you inhale, I'd like you to visualize that your diaphragm is dropping, which it is. Most people think that when they inhale, the diaphragm comes up. And I think the reason for that is because your chest goes up. But your diaphragm has to drop in order to make space for your lungs. So, and for your ribs. So everything that goes down. And then on your exhale, the diaphragm goes up to squeeze that air out of the lungs. So on the inhale, there's this expansion in the abdominal and in the lower abdominal and the upper cavities of the thoracics. And then on the exhale, there's a contraction. So I would like you to just visualize this dome shape. Maybe Vanessa can draw it for us someday. This dome shape, beautiful, important, incredible, important generator of our breathing mechanism. On the inhale, that diaphragm goes down. And then on the exhale, just imagine, visualize it rising up. So it's got all these attachments. It's attached even to your heart. It's attached to your ribs. So many points of attachment on the body. And it just has this beautiful ability to be so fluid and to move in this fluid-like fashion up and down in order that we can take deep breaths. So that is an important function on so many levels, but just in terms of lymphatics today, that too is going to generate the lymphatic system. So just be with that visualization for the next 2 or 3 minutes on your own. Keeping that focus on the diaphragm. A little counterintuitive. On the inhale, it drops. And on the exhale, it rises. See if you can ride out with it and appreciate how important it is. And now let your next exhale be very deep, and your next inhale very long. Visualize the diaphragm dropping to accommodate all of that air flowing into your body. Let it go. Wiggle your fingers and toes. Bending your knees. And just make your way into a fetal position on whatever side feels right. And then just coming back to how we started with the hands on the heart and thinking of the word gratitude. Think of what you're grateful for today, or whom you're grateful for today. And then using your hands, bringing the body and the torso up. Come to sit. And we'll do a call and response with our hands in prayer in front of our hearts. May we have a peaceful mind, an easeful body, and a useful life. Namaste, everybody. Oops. Thank you.